One great example, we were at the BET Awards, and I saw this little kid walking around with a little hat on, and I was like, hey, I got his mixtape. I said, Kendrick. He's like, you know who I am? It's Kendrick Lamar, bruh. I said, man, your mixtape, dude, Section 80 is amazing. I said, you are the next. I said, Rebecca, this is Kendrick. He was like, you know who I am? I said, dude, I said, I love you. I said, I think you are going to be the future. And what's so crazy is that he called me a few years later, ended up doing a video with him.
Right.
Because he said, remember when you told me you knew who I was? And remember this? You told me I was going to be doing something great. Look at this, man. Right. Now, look, tell me he's not the best in the world right now. And I'm so proud. And the thing is, too, man, there's another thing I had to learn, and that the NFL taught me that I had to unlearn: competing. I decided to never compete with people. This was my problem. Because they call it the sin of comparison.
Right.
When I'm looking at what you got and comparing what I got, it's always going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Always.
Right.
Because you always going to come up short.
Yeah. Yes.
Somebody always got more.
Right.
And then somebody always got less, but you always want more.
Right.
And I realized, man, that creativity was the exact opposite of competition.
Right.
If I'm being creative, I'm not competing. So I decided, you know what? Because everybody was like, hey, man, you gotta, you gotta be like Tiny, you gotta be this, you gotta blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. I'm gonna be me. And they was like, yeah, but you kind of weird. I said, yeah, I am.
That's what made me unique.
I am. All right. Listen, first of all, you can't even, it got to the point where we read scripts now that we want a Terry Crews type. Because they know that's just me.
Right.
And I decided by just being creative, that was my ticket out of that world of competition. Because this is the thing, man. The league is always,
it's got to be competition.
It's like, hey man, you versus so-and-so.
Right.
You wait, first of all, you got to fight the people in your own locker room first.
Yeah.
Before you even go up against another team. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then you always being judged like, well, you missed a step and, did you miss that? He didn't.
Right.
The coaches they will always tell you what you messed up on.
Right.
And then being black, we would go into the locker room, and if you hurt, they act like, you act like you don't want to play. I'll say, hey man, first of all, the white kids get hurt, and they're like, yeah, he's hurt.
Right.
But they never ever treated any black guy I knew in the locker room like he was really hurt. Wow. Like he was trying to cut out on the game.
So in other words, you said, I got to unlearn, because it's a jungle mentality, because someone is literally trying to take food off your table. Someone is trying to take a roof from over your kid and your family head to make sure they have one. But once you got into the entertainment space, you're like, I'm not competing against him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what can I do?
I'm in my lane.
First of all, I didn't go to school to act.
Right.
I didn't go to Juilliard.
Right.
You talking to a dude who ain't supposed to be here.
Right.
Everything I'm getting I ain't supposed to have.
Right.
So I'm already behind.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then I realized, wait a minute, if I just bring what I bring, I'm ahead. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I bring what only I bring to a project, because you can't do what I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is the one thing that the magic, and this is what I want to tell every young man is trying to transition out. That's the way it works for everything. That you have something that no one else has, but it's up to you to find it.
Right.
You got to find it. And you don't find it by comparing yourself with everybody else and whatever. You find it by finding out what you want to do. And this is when I had to make the hard realization that, man, maybe football it wasn't for me, but it got me to where I am. Right. And I'm very thankful for it. But let me tell you, I love the game. In fact, I don't even have a team. I just love the players.
Right.
It's just, sitting here with players, talking about, what we came through. It feels like a fraternity, man.
Right.
It feels like something we can therapize each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we all know it. We all seen it.
Right.
And we all played those games together. I mean, I was there when they was like, ain't no CTE. Sit down. You just weak.
Right.
I was like, man, my head hurt. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm seeing double.
Right.
And they're like, man, look, you just weak. I was there when they was telling everybody it wasn't real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, this is real, man. This is real.
Obviously, when you're first starting out, you don't make a lot of money. How do you get past? Because everybody thinks that you in the movie, you make $1 million or you make $5 million, and and the roles. I mean, you're first starting out. It ain't no big payday.
Not at all. Not at all. You get, here's your $500. Thank you very much. You know? But that's the thing. I never did it for the money. Remember I told you when we was doing that Friday After Next,
Right.
I was chasing that feeling of doing something, of going so deep and doing something so well. It was like when I was sweeping those floors. You know what I mean? You once you start that, you chase it, and you realize I could be excellent at this. Right. And I chase excellence. And then what I found is that the money will come. Right. That's what's so crazy. But what problem is when you chase money, right? If all of a sudden, because this is the thing, and this is what blew me away. I started to take job off my passion and what I saw would further what I was trying to do. And I wouldn't take jobs by the money. And I turned down a lot of money-making jobs that was terrible. But there was a lot of things that paid a little bit amount of money, but man, took me to a whole nother level. And by doing that, by not chasing the money, man, it's like, it comes, man. The passion will pay for itself.
Now, white chick. Look, Damien was in Next Friday. Yep. The Friday After Next was unbelievable. But it was that movie where Terry Crews all of a sudden becomes a household name.
Dude. Keenan Ivory Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans. I owe them a debt forever. That was one of the best experiences I ever had in my life. When I say from beginning to end, hanging with them dudes, the freedom that family had, it was like being in the Jacksons, bro. You know what I mean? Like, because listen, I watched In Living Color. I remember in college, all the way up in Living Color, and the Keenan Ivory Wayans is a legend. Yep. And I'm there, he's like, hey, Terry, hey, man, do whatever you want, man. You killing this, do this. I was like, what? I could do whatever I want, like everything. I said, so I could just, and man, when you hit that level of freedom, and the Wayans brothers, this is the thing about comedy, is that it opens up. Like, there was, the phrase they say a lot of times is that, the answer is never no. The answer is yes in comedy. Mm-hmm. So if you got a question, the answer is yes. I mean, you just keep taking it. And that's what we did. And bruh, I had no idea. By the time we got done, and I remember that premiere, and the producer looked at me, he said, hey man, your life will never, ever be the same. You gotta understand, like I said, I learned my lessons from football. I remember being in that room, singing that song probably 10,000 times by myself. So that when I got on the set, that was one take.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because we like to do something before two something.